spend so much money. You don't have to, go all out. Just even a smile, even a good morning message with a smiley, it just go a long way. Aside from that, there's also the rainy season. The rains are here, and a lot of people are going through a lot of, situations. We're getting reports as regards, there are some areas where construction work is ongoing, abandoned, and now with the rain back, so it has washed a lot of things onto the road, so people are finding it difficult to access the road, especially motorists. So that's another thing that I would like to bring to the attention of the government. Please do whatever it is that you can as regards construction of roads. When it gets to the rainy season, there should be some sort of plan B to able to make those things stay away, basically. All right, you're welcome to Mainland 98.3 FM. The Morning Express continues with trends in the papers. My name is Omobola Sandra. I will not be doing this alone. Fuad Sahid will be joining in via the phone line to give analysis to the stories that we're going to be treating this morning. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. Please do well to like, follow, share, subscribe to our social handles. We really appreciate it. But we're currently live on Facebook and YouTube at Mainland 98.3 FM. So you can drop your comments as the show progresses. You can drop your contributions, your analysis as the show progresses. And by the time we move to Mainland Focus, then we can engage those comments. But before then, good morning, Fuad. How are you doing?
Yeah, good morning, Sandra. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm well, I'm well. Thank you very much. The reports coming in from our government quarters is that the fuel situation has, reduced drastically.
I think it's a lot better. I think from like yesterday, we've seen that a lot of the queues have disappeared in many of the filling stations. So I think it's a lot better, but prices have adjusted slightly. When I say adjusted, they're higher, a bit higher, depending on where you're buying from. From most of the major markets, I see you have to go at around 601 per liter. I've hardly found any of them selling at below 600 naira per liter rate. And then for the small marketers,
the
most of them, independent marketers and all of that, probably will be looking at 630, 650. Some 700 naira per liter, again, depending on where you're buying from. But I think there's a bit of better supply now. The queues have thinned out drastically. A lot better, I must say. At least that from yesterday.
Okay. I hope it's not going to be another dollar situation where it's just for like 2 weeks, and then after 2 weeks again we are back to.
No. I said it now that they should just whatever. We know it's going to happen eventually. I'm not a naysayer. I'm not being too pessimistic, but it is a tradition. After one comes, there's also something that will happen. It could be panic buying, it could be logistics issue, it could be dollar issue, it could be something would happen really. And then we'll also face the same thing. So what we should just appeal to, appeal to the authorities, is that they should give us enough notice on when exactly the next one will happen. Since it's a tradition. And as an oil producing nation, we are not able to fix this problem. We are so incompetent. So they should just tell us in advance so that we don't go through this, emergency, needless, avoidable suffering. These people will be able to prepare themselves better, really.
All right. Thank you very much. Time check right now is 7:45 a.m. So let's get into the trending stories on the front pages of our papers for today, 8th of May, 2024. We have papers here, The Guardian, Vanguard, and The Punch, in no particular order. I'll start off with The Punch newspaper, where the major headline reads, Dollar Speculation, Federal Government Rubbishes Binance CEO's Bribery Allegation. So, Binance Chief Executive Officer Richard Teng, in a blog post published by New York Times, claims or made an allegation that top officials of this administration demanded $150 million bribe in cryptocurrency to settle the criminal charge against Binance. That was the allegation that the Binance CEO gave out. So the federal government now on Tuesday vowed to pursue a criminal case against the crypto platform Binance and its officials to a logical end. So the back and forth between Binance and the federal government has taken a new turn with this allegation coming up. It was reported that Okay, yes. The report is coming in. The report coming from New York Times is that on a trip to Nigeria in January, Tigran Gambaryan, a compliance officer with the exchange, received an unsettling message. I'm quoting: "The company has 48 hours to make a payment of roughly $150 million in crypto." So, Gambaryan, who is a former U.S. law enforcement agent, understood the message as a request for a bribe from someone in the Nigerian government. So the incident allegedly occurred before Gambaryan and his colleague, the one that, I don't know if he escaped or he was, I don't know what happened, but he's nowhere to be found, Anjarwalla, were arrested and detained on the orders of our NSA. So Anjarwalla escaped, has been traced to Kenya. But then what we now have is that as both Binance and Gambaryan now are facing trial for tax evasion, money laundering and all of that. So with this revelation that even when they were on their way, trying to come into the country to settle, whatever it is that was the problem then, okay, and they got this message. Who sent it, we don't know, but it was probably someone in they are guessing that it's probably someone in the Nigerian government. So with this revelation now, or with this new revelation, what do you think? How do you think the case would go?
Well, this is an allegation, really, Sandra, and the Binance chief executive did not give further details. Other than look, there was a demand for us to hear a message and all of that. Where the message came from, really, we cannot say. So it's extremely difficult really for us to pin it on anybody now, because it could have just been even people who are impostors, if you understand what I'm saying. Impostors could be making an attempt to take advantage. You understand what I'm saying? Because again, you also have a Binance. You also have Binance that has a lot of credibility issues as a fintech organization. There are a lot of credibility issues with Binance, so it may be extremely difficult again to begin to trust everything they say. In several countries like the US, for example, some of the executives have been sent to jail. Some of the company itself have been fined heavily. So when you have a company that also has serious credibility issues, you have to be a bit careful to sort through whatever they tell you. So that's on one part. But on the other side too, Sandra, it will be also extremely difficult for us to say, oh, it's not impossible because of our corruption index. We know ourselves, really, I'm sorry, but that's the reality, if you understand what I'm saying. Because on this Binance issue, for example, Sandra, we had invited them for a conversation. They came into the country, they sent two of their top executives to the country, and they were detained immediately and kept under the custody of the National Security Advisor. Whatever happened that led to one of them escaping the country the way he escaped shows that, look, anything could have happened with this particular case. And we cannot completely dismiss the allegations of an attempt to collect bribes from them. And I would have thought that instead of just dismissing this allegation, the reaction of the Nigerian government should have been that, oh, we are going to investigate it. You understand what I'm saying? The prosecution is already going on. They are already prosecuting them. They are already being tried. But on this allegation, though, give us further information, further details as to how you got the message, where did it come from, let's try and track it, so that if indeed there was an attempt at any point for people to do, trying to demand bribes, then we go after them and punish them appropriately, if you understand what I'm saying. But now we are just dismissing it. But how did the other one escape Kenya for us to now get Interpol involved and all of that? So
basically, this fresh allegation now coming up, or this fresh allegation coming up now, raises questions as regards how easy it was for Anjarwalla to leave the country.
Left the country when he was in custody under the NSA. How did he leave that court? They said he went to pray. In the spirit of Ramadan, they allowed him to pray to the mosque. Just imagine. And then he left there. He got into whatever. We don't know. But he left the country and he ended up in Kenya. How did that happen? If not that indeed there's corruption within the system. So I thought that, look, instead of just this grandstanding and making statements, the government should have just said, okay, that wouldn't stop your trial. We are still, digging deep into your activities in the country and some of the issues of economic sabotage that have come from the operation. But these allegations we made, give us more information, we'll go after it, we'll investigate it. EFCC is there. People have also questioned the involvement of the NSA.
Of the office of the NSA, yeah.
That you know, the NSA is everywhere and anywhere, Sandra. There's a crisis in Rivers State, the NSA is there. They are doing agricultural summit, the NSA is the one champion. It's everywhere and anywhere, really. Because one would have thought that this is supposed to be the jurisdiction of the EFCC, the economic crime. But again, the NSA is there. How proper are we even handling the okay? What is the model? What are we doing? What are we even trying to achieve with this finance thing? So, but it is what it is. Because of precedent, because of what has happened in the past and the way we do things, it's extremely difficult, really, to just dismiss or wish away these allegations. But again, for a company that has serious credibility issues, you also have to be careful to believe whatever they say.
All right. The spokesman for the Office of the National Security Advisor, Tʀᴇɪᴅs, said in a text message to New York Times that the federal government will make its case on the strength of the facts and evidence in accordance with due process. He said, and I quote, "We are confident that Nigeria has a good case. Binance equally will have every opportunity under the rule of law to make its case and see justice delivered." End of quote. And that's a report you can get on page 17 of the Punch newspaper. Well, no going back on trial. Moving on now, still on the front page of the Punch. We also have here, cybersecurity levy will worsen hardship. That's coming from Labour, and the story is also on page 17 of the Punch. So this is something that, you know, went wild yesterday all over the country. Cybersecurity levy. So what the Nigeria Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress and bank customers, and you know what they're saying now, the NLC, in a statement signed by its president Joe Ajaero, lamented that the levy was another anti-people policy of the government imposed amid economic hardship. He said, and I quote, "NLC vehemently condemns the recent directive by the Central Bank of Nigeria to levy a 0.005% cybersecurity levy on electronic transfers. This levy, to be implemented by deduction at the transaction origination, is yet another burden on the shoulders of hardworking Nigerians. This move, ostensibly aimed at bolstering cybersecurity measures, threatens to exacerbate the financial strain already faced by the populace." Similarly, Trade Union Congress kicked against the introduction of a cybersecurity levy by the federal government, describing it as a move that would drive Nigerians away from the formal banking system. So I'm quoting the National Vice President of TUC now, Tommy Etim. "It is highly unfortunate. It is also another way to discourage people from banking. If people are discouraged from banking because of deductions such as cybersecurity levy, admin charges, it means that the informal economy, manufacturing economy, and entrepreneurs will suffer. It's unfortunate that the government will carry out such a sensitive issue without stakeholder engagement. Nigeria is too big to be taken for granted. The time has come for them now to know that democracy involves the people. The National Assembly should not allow this to happen. Otherwise, it will be discouragement in terms of banking transactions. Nigeria's problems cannot be solved overnight." So, end of quote. So that's the reaction from the Labour Union as regards cybersecurity levy of what. You know, when we try to list out all of the deductions that we may have, to go once this comes on board, all of the deductions that we may have to go through as regards our banking or as regards making transfers or whatnot. There's a lot that we were able to get from that. So there's SMS charge, there's VAT, there's now cybersecurity levy, and there's stamp duty as well. All right. So with all of the on my own money, like my own, and then there's also bank charges. You know, it's all those
ones are
clandestine charges that we are not really aware of. Yes. So on my own money that I struggled, I hustled in this hardship and all of that to pay, and you know I have to share my money with the government, even though the government is not sharing, the government money.
You know what somebody posted on social media that got me laugh? Yes. Government wants to do all Yahoo to fight Yahoo voice.
It's a serious issue.
If the government wants to rob Peter to pay for, or to rob Peter to fight for, you know that all these government trying to do Yahoo to now use the money to fight Yahoo. You know, Sandra, a lot has been said. And you know the funny thing, Sandra, the funny thing about this situation is that know, when we call the attention of people to certain issues on how democracy can function effectively, you have people making excuses. Oh, say it's not a problem, blah, blah, blah. Remember, Sandra, when we talked about the doctrine of checks and balances in the democracy, and we talked about the role of the National Assembly as being critical to a functional democracy in any nation. Oh, people came, you know, when we're talking about the composition of the Senate Assembly, their posture, their body language, their personal model, and the way their principal officers were chosen, that look, we are heading for a rubber stamp National Assembly that will not be representative of the interest of the generality of Nigeria. People say, oh no, you should not have a disrupt National Assembly. It doesn't mean so far they get things done. Now they are getting things done, and Nigerians are suffering. Sandra, the Cyber Security Act has been there since 2015. It's not a new law. But you know that this year, that same act was amended. And a lot of things were imputed. It was already passed and signed by the president. You know, and that is where this particular, the NSA and the government is drawing this authority to now levy Nigerians for 5% of all electronic transactions. So they will tell you it is legal, it is there in the law. We are just implementing what the law says. But it was amended to clear through for this implementation. So we ask ourselves again, at what point did we have a public hearing for this particular amendment? Only my mother. How do you you know, when was all of these things done? They, recently one of the senators, I think it was Senator Alex, that talked about the fact that this Senate Assembly, as led by Senator Ʀᴏɪᴜ AᴊɪԻbᴏ and the other man at the House of Reps, are in the habit of watching things through. They just that sometimes they don't even bring it, they just everything is already done, and he told him that, man, you need to calm down. We are talking about the interest of the people here. And as representatives of the people, we have to be detailed. We talk you. You know what is called town hall meeting in the US when legislators go back home to meet their constituents. You know the way they agree, the way they are questioned. And in fact, a lot of them will ask them on this particular issue, what was your stance? And whatever you do at your town hall meetings to determine whether you are re-elected or not re-elected, your fortune as a legislator. But here, when people come for town hall meetings, what do? They know people are impoverished.
You sure?
They are facing, so they just share rice, they share beef, they share sewing machine, or Kesemarua. Nobody asks them any question. Half of the time, the constituents who are party members just go there dancing and singing them. So we see that a democracy, the democracy we practice in Nigeria is extremely defective. So we now go back to this side now. Look, I gave a rundown of what Nigerians did in electronic transfer from 2020. And in 2023 alone, Sandra, it was reported that Nigerians did over 600 trillion naira transfer, electronic transfer in 2023 alone. In 2020 was around 300 something trillion naira.
Okay.
If you do 0.5%, Sandra, of 600 trillion, that's about 3 trillion naira that will be going to the office of the National Security Advisor. Remember that we have also questioned the budgetary appropriation to the office of the NSA in the 2024 budget. This is the year that they got the highest ever allocation appropriation to that office, if you remember. I think running to about 300 something billion naira. In the past, it used to be maybe 20 something, maybe 100 or something.
Correct.
We talked about it, that this is the first time that the NSA is getting to 100 appropriation. That's number one. Now, there's another package. This is another package for the office of the NSA. And then people have also asked, if you say it's Cyber Security Fund, why should it be domiciled with the NSA? Why should it be the NSA that our government? Some of these things, you see, that's why we say that, look, you don't just gloss over things and think, oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, we say we should have a vibrant and steadfast National Assembly. We say it doesn't matter. We talk about corruption, it doesn't matter. We talk about the fact that, look, for you to choose ministers, let's have round, check, round, square, it doesn't matter. Again, at this time that Nigerians are faced with all manner of, Nigerians are still battling with that. Electricity tariff is still there. Nigerians are still struggling with that. Oh, you know, Lord, it's not that when you have one head and
Lord have mercy.
Say the head will not break. You have one head.
You know,
they use stone to eat it. Use brick. That will do.
It is really unfortunate for that. I've been reading through some medical reports recently, and there's a serious rise as regards mental issues. Most Nigerians would believe that it's until you enter markets and naked yourself that you think somebody has mental issues.
And that's why Nigerians in the past, when you step on somebody and say sorry, but they say, oh, so fine. Step on somebody and say sorry now. It gets more agitated by your sorry. The sorry that should have just ended everything. Everybody come on.
Yes, that's very unfortunate. So
and that's why you see more backs on everywhere. Any little thing they want to pounce on you.
But now, what? Don't you think this is one way or the other going to contradict our cashless / financial inclusion drive of the CBN? Because if you're telling me that I want to transfer 10,000 naira and almost 500 naira is going to leave my account because I want to make a transfer of 10,000 naira.
You start to keep your money at home, really?
Would I put my money in the house? That's one. So and then as regards financial inclusion now, those people in the rural areas will be like, why? What's the purpose? What now happened?
Especially the poor.
Exactly. Right? So why should I? They would rather just hold their money with them. That's 2. 3. Now more people will have cash with them at home. Now we're going to be concerned as regards these people that believe they are the owner of money. They'll come in the night and take exactly. So that's security. That's another security problem. Then 4 is the fact that why should I be responsible for cyber security of a bank? Why? The people were already upset with the stamp duty conversation. Why the customer is the one that has to pay. People are already upset.
The telecom tax is also coming. We said it yesterday.
Yes.
The telecom that was suspended last year.
Yes.
It's also coming.
It's still coming. That's all.
Because again, the report
was trying to remove. Yes.
Because again, the report is that look, I also tried to secure some funds from the World Bank, and that's why the government is already considering, bringing back the what's it called, the telecom tax.
Telecom tax.
Again, at this time, telecom operators are already saying that because of their cost of operation, energy cost, and all of that, they also need to increase their tariff to be able to function effectively. That's why I say Kalache.
Well, at this time now, I don't know if the poor is breathing at all. I don't even know if the poor has any air to even breathe, even if the poor wants to breathe. But just to
answer your last question, because yes. I'll tell you something. They are going to come with all of these arguments now. That it's in the law, blah blah blah. I just talked about the fact that when you have a rubber stamp assembly that is just ready to do the bidding of the executive without thinking about the general interest of Nigeria, this is what you get. Number 1. Number 2, they will come and say, oh, it's not only Nigeria. Oh, cyber security, blah blah blah, also exists in some other countries. I told a friend this morning that look, whenever they want to justify government action, standard, or policy, they will talk about the United States, they will talk about the EU, they will talk about Canada and all of these countries where things are working. It's also happening there now. I've seen some of them will say, oh, what is the number of tax you pay in Nigeria? If you go to some other countries to see that it's paid tax everything, blah 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 and all of that. But when you now tell them that in those countries their corruption index is less than 0%, when you tell them that in those countries public transportation is heavily subsidized, when you tell them in those countries that in those countries they are saying, they use their taxes judiciously to better the life of the people. When you tell them that in those countries things are working, healthcare is heavily subsidized and all of that, they will now say that, oh, you can't be talking about those people. They didn't start today now. They started a long time ago. You can't be using that standard. So right. Double standard. That's what you hear from them. But again,
thank you.
It's there for Nigerians to take this or reject it. It's there for Nigerians. Either we take it or we stand up now to reject it. We can't be stuffed out of life.
Definitely.
That's what we're getting.
Definitely needs to be done. Well, as it is now, following the enactment of Cybercrime Prohibition, Prevention, etc., Amendment Act 2024, and under the provision of Section 44, subsection 2A of the Act, a levy of 0.5%. Oh, that's another thing. Please, it's very simple. 0.5% and 0.005 It's the same thing. Please, let's not get confused.
Yeah, that was the same thing my was doing to it's just 0.5.
It's 0.5. Yeah. So it's basically, if you want to calculate how much you want to make a transfer, you want to calculate how much your cybersecurity level would be. Let's say, for example, you're transferring 10,000 naira. So it times 10,000 naira by 0.5% and divide by 100. All right, so if you don't want to have to divide by 100, you just go straight to 0.005. That's what basically what that is. There's no difference. It's the same thing. Because that was causing some interesting conversation on social media yesterday night. Equivalent to
all the TPOBs are doing mathematics.
trying to make sense of everything. Well, all of this is to be administered by the Office of the National Security Advisor, not the CBN. That's another interesting take on it. But the story on page 17 of the Punch newspaper. Thank you very much.
Another thing they will come and say, Sandra, is that look, it's not all electronic transfers. There are some exemptions. Intra-bank transfer, blah, blah, a long list of some exemptions. But in reality, let us even say we break what, because we are working in 2023 figures of 600 trillion naira. So let us even say, okay, instead of 3 trillion or 4 trillion, they break it to half. Even 2 trillion is big money for the office of the NSA. To be left in a way that they said the Auditor General will be the one setting. Is it not in this country we see an Accountant General that sold almost how many billions of naira? So again, when we talk about these things, we are also looking at our corruption index. And then we are saying that, look, this should not be coming at a time Nigerians are struggling to survive. They are inundated with all manner of charges and levies, and life is almost solved out of death. It should not be at this time.
Thank you very much, Said Fuad. I think we're definitely going to be digging deeper into this cybersecurity conversation much later on our other programs. But moving on, this is Trends in the Papers on Mainland 98.3 FM. It's 8 minutes past 8. We're still on the front page of the Punch. And we also have here, Ladoja withdraws lawsuit, clears path for Olubadan enthronement. That's on page 31. That's an update as regards the Olubadan seat.
Wow.
Above the masthead of the Punch, federal government woos global investors for 17 oil blocks. That's on page 17 of the Punch newspaper. I'm not going deep into that. But also we have here, finally from the Punch newspaper, just by the masthead, warnings of anarchy as APC demands Fubara's removal. And that is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. The Rivers State government on Tuesday dismissed a call on the State House of Assembly by the caretaker committee of the APC in the state to commence impeachment proceedings against Governor Siminalayi Fubara. The State Commissioner for Information and Communications, Joseph Johnson, said this in an interview that the governor would not allow anybody to throw the state into anarchy. Also, leader of Pan Niger Delta Forum, Chief Edwin Clark, and other prominent individuals in the region have warned the lawmakers against causing anarchy in the state. Let us not forget, 27 members of the State House of Assembly in Rivers State, one way or the other, I don't know which party they belong, but they're loyal to Nyesom Wike, FCT minister, former governor of the state, and the APC caretaker committee had, called on them to immediately commence an impeachment process against Fubara. So, as it is now, the APC coming on Fubara, of course, a PDP member, PDP governor, and all of this back and forth, and also the position of the PDP itself, the national leadership, and coming in, what exactly is going on in Rivers State, and what is this going to snowball into?
Well, Sandra, it's very, very unfortunate. Again, I talked about the fact that we are not really ready to practice democracy the way it should be practiced. Because one of the fundamentals of a democratic state is the respect for the rule of law. The law is the guiding principle, the Constitution. It's superior to every other thing. And it's supposed to be the guiding principle, really, in a democracy. Now, for me, I'll pin all of this on the president. That intervention that happened some months back, where the governor was directed on the basis of what I can call a nonsensical political solution to go, it was a directive to go and implement what is completely alien to the law. It was clear at that time, not because of the inexperience of Fubara, or because, according to him, He just wanted to respect the president and then, of course, show the part of it. Took a directive that was impossible for him to implement. You know, we talked about the fact that he would not be able to implement those. You know, I think it was about 8 resolutions and directives. We are not even going to talk about the fact that people who were at that meeting talked about the condescending manner in which the president spoke to the governor. I have told a number of people who have been justifying all of these things on the basis of party sentiment, political sentiment. Now look, if it was President Bola Ahmed Tinubu when he was the governor of Lagos, and Obasanjo had tried to do that to him, would he have accepted? Because there are people that are justifying this nonsense now. Oh, because of partyism, blah, blah, blah. And I even saw a senior journalist on TV yesterday, Sandra, saying that, you know, there was a time he even said Wike to be the elder in the room, if you act as an elder, and allow Fubara to appeal. I said, is he his father? Is he a school teacher? Is that what we are saying here?
Political godfather.
You know, he said he should be the elder, you know, and the hypocrisy of the highest order. These were people that in the days of the PDP, they said all manner of things about Jonathan, called him clueless, they talked about the constitution, the respect for the rule of law. Now they are changing the rules because they are now in power, and then of course they are affiliated one way or the other as media people to the ruling party. And we can't build a nation like that. I shook my head. These are senior people that some of us are reversed. And so their capacity is able to do the job properly as media people. But now look at what they are doing. What are we saying here, Sandra? What exactly are we saying here? This is all a legal issue. Let's test this in the law court. People defected from one party to another party. When there was clearly no crisis in their party. Until today, you ask me the question now, which party do they even belong to?
I really don't know. I just have 27 members of the State House of Assembly. We don't know the party, but they are loyalists of Wike. That's as far
as we are
justifying
the fact that State Assembly members that should only be loyal to their state
not
and the people that elected
thank you.
have abandoned their loyalty and responsibility to the people of Rivers State and submitted it only to one man, just one man. Sandra, one person who said he built a structure or bought funds for people. Who begged him to build any structure? In a democracy, you had your term for 8 years. And that's why we're not making any meaningful progress. And yesterday, like I said, the senior journalist was even talking about gratitude. And you know, in Africa, you know, we should always show gratitude to people who help us. Who told him to help anybody in that manner? You know, you help somebody to become governor, and then it becomes your CG. If you don't even function as a governor, it will be helpless. It was so bad that they say even when the governor received a visitor, there's a call from Abuja asking him, who are you meeting with? Who are you talking to? You are talking with my enemy. Is that the way we want to make progress in Nigeria? And your people who will continue to justify that nonsense. If Nᴇᴜsᴜ was the governor, Sandra, Nᴇᴜsᴜ that you know, would he have even accepted any presidential intervention with those 8 recommendations? Let's talk to ourselves now. Unless we are not ready to make progress. But the reality is that, look, we have gotten to this needless crisis. If we had followed the law, Sandra, we would not be in this crisis. And that's why it's a legal matter. All this nonsense political confusion we're talking about is the reason why we're not making progress.
Constitutionally, looking at it, or by jurisprudence, the 27 lawmakers lost their seats on the day they defected to another party. That is what the law says. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Section 1 clearly states it. So for okay, we're just going to leave that at that. But then, on his part, the leader of the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, Chief Edwin Clark, warned the lawmakers against causing tension and anarchy because, of course, the people, some of the people, a large chunk of the people, are behind, Governor Fubara. So this is going
to look at what they have been doing, Sandra. Look at what they have been doing to the governor. Something that when Wike was there for 8 years, he had the state assembly he kept them under a state council. 7 times they vetoed the governor, Sandra, passing all manner of laws just to weaken the power of the governor. Something Wike never tolerated, and some people are there now justifying. 7 times they vetoed the governor. They've been there working against the governor, talking down on the governor. Even the governor said that some of the commissioners he brought back on the basis of peace were fairly working against his interest. How do you function as a governor? And so the man, you know what the man has said? You can do all your nonsense. But the fact is that the treasury of the state, the money of the state, now my hand is I will pay in a paper. And that's what we're doing to them.
Well, on the part of member of the Rivers State Elders Council and prominent Niger Delta activist Ms. Ann Q. Briggs faulted the APC, saying the so-called chairman of the APC here in Rivers State calling for impeachment of Governor Siminalayi Fubara. On what grounds? He has said what he has said. Let us see how they are going to proceed, because what is happening in Rivers State exactly has been happening in Rivers State since the beginning of this governor's tenure and is unacceptable to the people of
just because of the interest of one man, Sandra, just one person. You know the way we keep building strong people, not strong institutions, and we keep justifying. That's why we are not making progress, and we will never make progress. People continue to justify that nonsense. Just one person, not one person.
Well,
who is it?
Just to clear things up, according to section 1091G and 2 of the Nigerian 1999 Constitution as amended, what we know is the truth of the matter is that the legality of the members of the House of Assembly is still under question. And so what it means is that do they even have the right to commence impeachment proceedings? And
that's why the governor said they are just floating. He doesn't even, they are like that, they are not, but again, that will be left for the court to decide. But what I'm just saying is that, look, on all fronts, our political leaders have been irresponsible on this Rivers matter. It's just about interest. They are just about their own personal interest. You will be completely responsible, whether from whatever they call the Abuja court. And this is not known to the law. We should please understand that democracy is about the law, not about the interest of a few people. So it's a matter of time. I said it yesterday. It's a matter of time. We'll see where all of this will end. This Rivers matter.
Thank you. This is Midland 98.3 FM. You're listening to Trends in the Papers. It's 8:18 a.m. We're moving on now to the Guardian newspaper. You can get more details of that on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Major headline on the front page of the Guardian: Federal government shuns financial inclusion, imposes more taxes on citizens and depositors. So depositors taxes, quote unquote. So hardware token, that's the token for those who are doing internet banking. Hardware
no
token.
Wonder, you see that at the end of the month, your money, you know,
no. For
the
those
big boys
yes,
who use token.
Who use token. That's for internet banking. So you know there's a difference between mobile banking, there's internet banking.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so internet banking, those who go on the
No
website.
people like us,
So for internet banking, you need a token. So for hardware token is 2,500. So for those who want to per token.
Per token, okay.
So for those who want to replace their debit card, that's 1,000 naira.
Yeah, of course, yes. You want to get your card, they charge you for that.
Okay. So now stamp duty, 50 naira.
Okay.
To get your statement of account in most banks is about 200 naira. SMS alert is 4 naira. There's
so every SMS you get 4 naira they go.
4 naira it goes up. There's also the telco fee. For those who use USSD.
USSD, yeah.
There's also the telco fee of I think 0.68 naira. So I can't remember.
So any other USSD transfers,
so any USSD, they do that. Anything, even if you are just checking your account balance. Any USSD transaction you do, they charge that. And then you also have people who have foreign currency debit cards like Fuad Said. That's $10 to get the card.
Anybody that believes you is on their own.
And now with the introduction of cybersecurity levy. So what I'm wondering, those people who have like 5 different bank accounts. I'm wondering. I'm seriously. And then those who are 5 different banks who are operating accounts in 5 different banks. That's one thing. And then you have like 3 different accounts in one bank. That's another thing. Maybe you open an account for your children and you transfer money into their accounts every month, for their savings or for their education fund or trust fund or whatnot. So that's another, angle to it. So as it is now, value of electronic payment in the last 8 years, I think Fuad was able to reel that out. But let's see what the Guardian is reporting as regards this cybersecurity levy. The riders read, may generate 3 trillion naira yearly from new cybersecurity levy. Mixed reactions trail levy. As it is now, 16 transactions get exemption. Nigeria joins European Union, France, South Korea, USA on cybersecurity tax. Stream of electronic banking charges will slow pace of cashless scheme. We've already talked about that. Economists insist cybersecurity levy is insensitive. lawyers query legality of NSA.
I think extortion. I think extortion.
Okay. The lawyers are
from the public
the lawyers are querying the legality of the NSA on the subject matter. Why NSA? And now, yeah, you can't tax your way out of economic challenges. Economists are warning the president. So
fantastic statement. Fantastic statement.
So what we have?
You want to tax your way out of this economy? No, it can't happen. When you are spending reckless, we're talking about revenue and spending pattern. You want to make a lot of money, but you are not fixing your reckless, terrible spending pattern. You are not tackling that. You are still buying SUVs. You are still doing all manner of things. People are still stealing with debtors abandoned, and you think revenue will solve the problem by inflicting pain and taxes on the people. It will happen.
Okay. Well, for a lot of people who are seriously concerned, especially salary employers who pay salaries, I'm just trying to imagine what they are doing. But there are exemptions, so I'll just reel out the exemptions. So the exemptions: loan disbursements and repayments. So you are getting loan disbursements, repayments, or you're paying your loan in different banks, microfinance banks, and all of that. There's the exemption for that. Salary payment as well. Intra-account payments, that's within one bank, all right, within the same bank, okay, or between different banks, same customer. So Said Fuad, so Said Fuad is not even that. So Said Fuad is using mainland bank, and then Said Fuad is also using let's see what we have here, Sandra Bank, same Said Fuad. So if Said Fuad is transferring from mainland bank to Sandra Bank, you won't have to pay cybersecurity fee.
Since it's my own account.
Since it's your own, it's the same account. You understand? So
if I'm sending to you, I'll pay.
But if you are sending to me, you pay. Yes. So that's just that's for
all of these things doesn't even matter for now. We can't just when the president has talked about widening the tax net, and I remember that he also mentioned that look, you're not going to have multiple layers of tax. Widening the tax net does not mean you should continue to introduce new form of taxes and levies. You can widen the same taxes and still, and at the end of the day, you are getting more taxes. We can't operate under the tax masters, killing taxes and levies. It's just are being put out of life. I'm telling you.
All right. So just very quickly forward, so we can let people know the exemptions that you may not have to be involved in this. So like I mentioned earlier, loan disbursement and repayment, salary payment, intra-account transfers that within the same bank or different bank but the same customer, intra-bank transfer between customers of the same bank. So Said Fuad has an account in mainland bank, Sandra Omobola has an account in mainland bank. So Said Fuad is transferring money to as Omobola Sandra still in mainland bank. He won't have to pay cybersecurity levy. That's what that means. All right. So we also have here inter-branch transfers within the bank. I think that makes sense. So my branch is at Shomolu and I want to transfer to another branch but the same bank.
The same bank.
Right. Exactly. Letters of credit. Letters of credit. That's for corporate organizations now. Say program transactions. I don't know, transfer the funds. So that's another angle. So those are the exemptions for people who are wondering how. So it's not for everybody. So maybe
not for every transaction.
Not for every transaction, rather. So if you want to transfer to Fuad and he's using another bank, just tell him to open an account in the same bank that you are using.
But that's what we'll be doing.
So yes, so that's what. People who have accounts now in all the banks in the country. All right, the story is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Let's move on now. NER sees higher tariff review for disco's light or for darkness. What exactly is going on? The story is on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. We also have here, federal government certifies Tinubu fit, explains absence, and said it's to return on Wednesday. That's today. Yes. So the story is on page 3.
So what happened?
You want to know?
Of course not. For the number of days we didn't know his whereabouts, there was no official state. So he's coming back today, and they said he's coming from Europe. Where in Europe? What happened?
Well, according to the report, speculations were that medical reasons and all, but then
what did the government say happened?
The Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Tunji Alausa, explained that the president's absence from the country is not due to medical reasons, and he said,
sorry, what is it?
He said, contrary to speculation, the president is not aware of medical ground. Let me tell you, we are developing a healthcare system for Nigerians.
Are you playing with me? Are you so
hold on one. Hold on one. Let me quote Mr. Lausa, please. Let me tell you, we are developing a healthcare system for Nigerians, not for the president. We have 220 million Nigerians, and that's what the president wants. That's what he said. We have a president that is well, that is healthy, and leading the country in the right direction. The president is getting some of his care in Nigeria. He also announced that he will return today. So basically, we don't know what he went for, but it's not for medical reasons. That's what I get from this.
But he's getting some of his care in Nigeria, not all of his care.
Some of his care. So he said that whatever plan they have, the Renewed Hope Medical Initiative and all of that, is not for the president. It is for Nigerians.
It's not for the president.
That's selflessness.
He's the president of Nigeria.
That's selflessness. What?
No, but what I'm saying is that have they told us why after his visit to Saudi Arabia for those number of days that we didn't know about what happened?
No.
And if you look at the report, it's coming back from Europe. Where in Europe?
No.
You know, this is the second time we are hearing he went for private. For God's sake, he's our president. We need to know.
Well, he didn't state categorically what exactly he went to do or what he's doing, but we should just know that it is not for medical reasons. So we should just
for what? You know, when you say it's not for medical, you must tell us why, what he has done there. You can't just leave us blank.
Not tell us. Maybe it's personal.
You debunk speculation, but you don't answer the question. Because I'm interested. It shouldn't continue to happen. He's our president. We should know. We are concerned. I know there was almost a bit of a lacuna somewhere in governance, where the vice president was supposed to go out and he returned. You see, the statement that is coming from this particular administration is the reason why there's a room for all manner of speculation. It shouldn't be happening. Oh, you think Joe Biden, for example, Sandra, he will leave the US on official visit, for example, to China or to any part of the world, and then he will leave that place, and then the whole of America will not know where he has gone to, and they will not even answer questions, and then you will not have a minister for health telling them that they are taking health for all Americans.
I understand your concern. I truly understand your concern for your president. For our president.
For our president.
Yes, for our president. I truly understand. It's okay. But we have so many other stories that we may not be able to look at because we have run out of time. But the headlines read: 200 jobs at risk as Microsoft shuts down innovation center in Lagos. That's on page 15 of the Guardian newspaper. We also have here petrol price to rise as federal government struggles to sustain supply. That's on page 2 of the Guardian. We also have here
the silent subsidy is becoming a problem. That's the standard.
It's okay. We also have here Lekki corridor meant for farming, not housing, says Lagos State government.
They should demolish all the houses.
You know, they said sometime early this week that 80% of the buildings in Lekki they don't have permits. But it's
okay, wait, Sandra. What of the Okoba Agege, the whole of Okoba Agege where they have it now? Where a lot of the political associates and cronies bought out, it was not a farm settlement before.
All right.
Did they do change of use at that time?
Finally, the major headline on the front page of Vanguard newspaper: oil block, federal government removes signature bonus to woo investors. Signature bonus highest in Nigeria, says Lukobiri, adds oil will remain relevant to Nigeria's economy as 667 firms are eyeing 57 oil blocks on offer.
They should come, because it's going to be a saving grace if they come and they are able to help us.
It's on page 5.
To produce more, yeah. They should come. We are begging them.
All right. So we'll take a very short break now. When we come back, it's Mainland Focus, where you, our dear listener, you get to join the conversation. It is still Mainland 98.3 FM, and you're listening to the Morning Express.
Meals have a way of taking us on a journey, and when you add plenty of vegetables like ⴅ, and season with the rich taste of Knorr seasoning cubes, even better.
So, go ahead and elevate your meals with more vegetables and the rich taste of Knorr cubes. Today, eat for good.
Hey folks, ready